So let's drink to when it's over. Let's drink to when we meet. I'll be standing on this corner where there used to be a street. Leonard Cohen, a national treasure, but not our nation. Ha ha ha! He's a Canadian. Where he's a citizen of the whole world. Bless his heart. I'm reading. Okay, let's just skip the hell out of Cleveland for a while and welcome a guy who reads with a lot of heart and intensity and soul, and he reads as if it mattered. And he's looking at me like, is he next? Yes, George Wallace. Is he next? George. He's coming in from the side. He's coming in from the front. He's going to take the roof off the place. Get a hold of your chair. You'll need it.
Thank you, Charlie Potts.
At New York.
Pleasure to be back here at the Barking Spider Tavern in Cleveland. My second time here. Last time it snowed. I think it was in May it snowed. Now 10 minutes of poetry for you. It's called This Redhead of My Sudden Acquaintance. It's for Neil Cassidy. Well, what I mean to say, the road was straighter than this, and I was driving unreasonably fast. It was a 57 Chrysler Imperial. You do remember those, don't you? No, of course you don't, but, well, oh man, well, you know, or maybe you don't know. The Chrysler Imperial 57, cherry red, souped up electric windows, electric top, chrome grille, big damn fins, but no brakes. No brakes. And you had to scuffle your feet along. It would take you 3 miles to roll. Rocks flying everywhere. You might need a new pair of shoes if you wanted to stop. Anyhow, I couldn't afford tires, as my situation at that particular point in time was dire, if not to say extreme. But being that it was, I could have gone around the corner meaning to steal something secondhand. But at the time, I was with this redhead of my sudden acquaintance. Well positioned in town, she with a well-oiled boyfriend, me with plenty of times on my hand, but no, he was not in tow on that particular morning. In fact, she had been sitting in a booth in the coffee shop for a very long time by the look of things. She was coffee cups, ashtrays full of nervous cigarettes. She was putting hairpins into and out of her hair. Well, I struck up a conversation. It got to be this, got to be that. Before you know it, everything was pretty damn fine. When I looked outside, as sure as we were sitting here today, it had stopped raining. Morning was nearly over. The cat was out of the bag, so zippity-doo, we was off. Going down the road and then some, well, 5 times faster was legal. I'm talking 35 plus 35 plus 35 and then some. And it was, yes, man, I mean, no, not on that road outside Fort Collins. I prefer at this late stage to say it was one of them back east. Headed for her hometown in Kansas. She was a school teacher back there. A school teacher of good repute, you might say. There was not a cop car to be seen. The breeze was everything. Eastern Colorado was a sight to see. She was smart with that orange sky. No, not like the red in her hair. It was a coppery sort of red, like Lincoln's pipe and a new shiny penny, and she gave me the prettiest smile just then. The prettiest smile just then. Boy, you could just feel it. That car wanted to fly. We rolled down the window. We beat to the beat on the dash. Oh my, she said. Oh my, she said. Oh, my right toenail. Oh my, she said. I do believe it has just had an emotion. Came here overnight by Greyhound bus. This is another big Greyhound bus trip, stopping for a piss in Missouri. Cross-country bus stops unexpectedly on the side of the road. The driver gets up from his seat. The bus door opens. Yogi steps out into the field. We are in Missouri. He is going out to take a leak in a field in the summer. He's a large man. You can see that even from the side of the bus. Quite a bit larger than one might imagine. A woman across from me half gets up out of her seat to watch. She begins to complain, but her companion tells her to shut it. And she does. From the look of him standing there, his back to the bus in the tall grass, he looks to be about as wide as a bread delivery truck. Any kind of paddle truck, really. One that's been driven off the road and into some hasty bushes by some kids with nothing to do all day. They borrowed it from a neighbor's driveway. They filled it full of beer and musical instruments, and they've driven it down to this field full of sun and haze and buzzing insects, and they've abandoned it in the sun for a few hours, and they've walked down, Indian file down a clandestine pathway that only they know about. Now they are relaxing down at a place over the hill where you and I can't see them. It's a place with a swim hole. It's a place with a flat rock where young people go for smoking pot and then some good old-fashioned naked swimming without being disturbed by cops or grown-ups. From where I'm sitting, I can see the arc of the bus driver pissing. It looks like the St. Louis Arch in the sun. I wonder if being a man with a field in Missouri would be a nice kind of a man to be. The sun would feel good splashing on my arms and face. I could smell things growing all around me, things that are rich and alive, nothing like New York City. Wheat, barley, clover, hay, honeybees, horses you could ride, a smoke shed you could keep for curing hams. And I want to get out of the bus, and I want to look around at the real estate. I'm quite sure the bus driver wouldn't mind. From where I'm sitting, he looks like a decent man. I mean, who notices? It's a bus driver. He looks like a man who wouldn't turn around or stare over his left shoulder if one of the passengers was to happen to get out and have a look around while he's peeing. I mean, it's a nice place for a picnic, I could say. It's a nice place for a picnic, I could say. Loud enough for only him and me to hear. He would notice, but he wouldn't say anything. It's not like that. He could just keep on pissing. Well, after a long time, the driver gets back on the bus, and he takes his seat, and he closes the bus door. Everything goes back to normal. Everyone is relieved. You can hear the sound of it throughout the bus. People are settling back into their seats. They're getting comfortable again. We're going to do that thing we've all come here to do. Well, all we've gotten on this bus for. We're going to move forward. The bus bumps into gear. I would say the motion's between a nudge and a jolt, like being inside a small ancient shack on the side of a mountain in Chile. A shack in Chile with a tin roof that's felt the earth move many times over. It's become used to it. A shack in Chile that's still standing in any weather. Whenever the earth moves, that shack always moves too. It sways, but it never falls. As for the people inside, when the earth begins to shake, they don't even get up out of the bed anymore. They just go on making love to each other. Sometimes he says to his friends, "Her? She's a field of arrowheads and rocks. It's like sticking it into a bag of razor blades." Sometimes she says to her friends, "Him? He's one old tired rooster, like a rag you wouldn't pull into your mouth. You put it into your mouth unless you got to put a stop to a toothache." Well, that's just talk. They become accustomed to their lives. When the earth moves, they hold on tight to each other, and they rock with that motion. If they do that, if they both loosen up, if they do that, if they rock with the motion, their lovemaking goes quite a lot better. If they do that, it makes them both feel content about themselves and each other and themselves and their present situation.
All right.
All right, this is a true story. Walking on 10th Street, New York City. Names changed to protect the innocent. Don't be offensive. Walking on 10th Street. We were walking on 10th Street in the direction of the Neptune. It's a Polish diner, which Simon likes to go to that diner, but you have to get there before 11 o'clock if you want the breakfast special. That's important because Simon likes to arrive at the Neptune diner while they're still offering brunch, which means unlimited orange juice and endless hot cups of coffee. Well, we run into Max Camber. But no time to stop and talk to Max Camber. Besides, Simon doesn't like to talk to Max Camber anymore. He doesn't want to talk to Max Camber because he, even though Max Camber studied film at UCLA, he still doesn't know how to approach his subjects with what Simon likes to call sympathetic objectivity. So we shake hands with Max Camber, and we keep on walking. Eventually we get to Avenue A, where the Korean greengrocer is warming his hands over a chestnut fire, and a light rain is coming down, and Simon tells me about his recent visit to P-Town, Provincetown, where he's editing the selected works of Robert Creeley, and how good that is to work with Creeley's son, because the man's devotion to his father is admirable, complete, and sincere, and we were both... And then it's spring in the city, and the tourists are returning to New York City. Not unlike the last time I came to see Simon, that is, but that was a different scene. We were on our way to drink red wine and listen to jazz at Mo Pitkin's. And we were both of us looking very sharp, very photogenic and carefree on Avenue A when some protesters started to crank things up. Crazy, said Simon. And yes, it was crazy. It was crazy. It was colorful. It was beautiful. It was a parade of angry flowers, Rose Bowl parade, Thanksgiving and St. Patty's all wrapped up together, and maybe Christmas too. When we stopped to watch them, and we stopped and we shouted things out and smiled at them with their big angry banners and their coterie of cops. But like I say, that was a while ago. And we were angels of the New York City night. Whereas this is a Thursday morning in spring. We get to the diner. It's already 11:30, says the waitress in her polite but strange accent, and over the bustling sound of waitresses, countertop, top, busboys, dishwashers, spoons, plates, customers, the joyful crash and clink of the world, we looked at each other, we looked at the clock on the wall, and we looked at our ragged clothes, and we looked at her and the entire Western world working for a living except us. And we don't care anymore, we're happy. We have found each other. We don't even mind paying full fare for our eggs over easy and our rye toast. Thank you very much.